So following on from last week's Canva Design Challenge, where we had the ocean, this time we have corn. And you may have guessed it, knowing where my mind tends to go. I've gone straight for the Field of Dreams, the 1989 movie about building a baseball field in the middle of a cornfield. And I really don't know how we're going to manage this today, but we've got our 20 minutes and we need to replicate this in a graphic using only Canva assets. Over the next few weeks, you're going to see a few posts around the Canva Design Challenge. We're going to have a go at taking on the challenge every week, and we'd like to invite you to come and have a go as well. The main aim of this is to tap into our PixelHaze Principles of Design and demonstrate how we can effectively work professionally under pressure and deliver a new design challenge in under 20 minutes each week. That's if, of course, it all goes to plan. All you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow the challenges each week. Also, please leave comments and let us know how you're getting on with your own Canva Design Challenge. If you're over 18, you can also enter your own designs in the Canva Design Challenge officially, providing you meet all additional criteria. And I'll leave the link in the description below. Enjoy and stick around for this week's challenge. So normally I would have a bit more time to plan it, but this is the type of thing I'm going to hopefully achieve, where we've got our cornfield in the foreground and then a baseball field in the background. We're going to start with photos. If we're really struggling with that, we may go in closer up and just have items like one of the bases, the baseball bat. Something like this might work, where we could potentially look to essentially cut it along here. So we could try this and then edit the image. In fact, what I'm going to do is copy and paste that. Now edit this one and see what we can do using the background remover tool. Will it get rid of this section here? If so, we're off to a really good start. But I've got a feeling it'll take the sky out, but not this section here. Yeah. Okay. But that's a start. I've never tried this before, but I'm just going to try and use the background remover one more time to see if it'll take more out of the photo. The suspense is killing me. Come on, come on. Ah, no. Okay. There may be other ways around that. Don't know how yet. We'll have a look at that in a bit. Okay. By swapping the sky out, I can get something a little bit moodier in there, make it more dramatic, and then maybe we can add some filters to it as well. But I don't know how we're going to quite get this section here where we've got the corn coming up. The other thing as well is that the ears of corn aren't really that high. We'd want it over head height ideally. Yeah, okay. This is where my lack of knowledge of US sports might come into play a little bit. I'm not sure, is it the baseball diamond or is it pitch? We'll go with this. Okay, so instantly we've got an issue of scale. Ears of corn, much, much bigger than the blades of grass on the pitch, so that might not work. And that certainly doesn't work. Okay. The other thing is the angle. This is something I could fix quite easily on Photoshop. not so much on Canva. Sometimes this happens where Canva will detach an image to the background, and we don't want that. Certainly not at the moment. So we're going to detach that from the background. Drop it in place. Yeah, we're going to have a real struggle with this particular effect. He's getting a little large and unruly, that background image. I could have just re-added it in, but I'm stubborn. Okay, let's try another approach, shall we? We need something very specific. We want it top down, or at least as if it's up in the stadium looking down. So this option here doesn't work because the angle's completely wrong, and we wouldn't see our pitch in the foreground unless we flip it round. So what I might do is just duplicate this, have a look at another option, and switch the pitch into the foreground and see how, if there's any option to blend the corn in to it. So here, obviously that's not going to work. We can't rotate it because it's all going to be leaning. Yeah, this is a more formidable challenge than I originally planned. But hey, that's the fun of this. One thing we can do here is flip our graphic. So, okay, it looks obvious that the two are there, but we don't have a join in between them. Obviously, the sky doesn't help that. So if we use the background remover on the sky, I'll just get rid of that one, and we'll just copy and flip this one here. So again, going back to Adobe Photoshop, we could quite easily just use the clone stamp tool or the heal tool which would really help. Just to blend the items together. We don't have that option here. So I'm going to try and just work with it so it doesn't look like one straight line, and we can see the corn in the background. And then we're going to try and apply a load of effects onto our image to try and make it blend. This is the real part of the challenge here on Canva, is that we are more limited to what we can do, so we have to be more creative. So what I might see if I can do is just to add in like a subtle gradient and make this much, much darker, more moody. So almost taking it from daylight to nighttime, if that will work. I'm going to duplicate it again, just because I've got this to fall back on. But already we can see this is looking better than the previous version. So let's zoom in a little bit and start working down with some of these colors now. So if we go to the edit image, we'll see if we've got any filters that will do the job to get us started. So we're going to go with Epic to give it that kind of old-timey filter effect. At this point, you could argue quite easily that we'd have been better off applying the filters before anything else, and you could be right. As I said, the main challenge here is we're designing without really having much time to think about the approach that we're doing. So what I'm going to do now is go into the adjustments. I'm going to try and remember what I'm doing as well, so we can add in more effects, reducing the brightness. I might even bump up the contrast a little there, so we're getting much, much darker there, and I'm going to drop the shadows right down. By going darker on the shadows, it's going to blend the two together more, and hopefully it will hide a lot of imperfections. It's getting better. Might go with dusk, I think. Doesn't seem to be working, so also there's a bit of damage on this photo, so it might not. Yeah, we can see the sky and even the cloud effects are just too big and dramatic to really blend with the photo that we're looking to work with here. So I might try some other options. Yeah, I think simpler the better here. Really simplifying the effect here. We've got some blocks in here. We've only got about 6 minutes left, so I need to get a shifty on now. So we need black transparent gradient ideally to go over this middle section. So we're going to try and really darken that out. I don't want it too chunky. Okay, we can use the guides there to snap it horizontally to make sure that we're not giving ourselves any overlap. So we can just nudge it with the arrow keys there. I'm not overly happy. We've got a little bit of a join there, but I don't think we're going to be able to do much about that. If I flip it horizontally, it might work. Yeah, okay. If I copy this one, it should have a perfect join if I line it up properly. Okay, well that actually worked out better than I thought. Wasn't sure how this black transparent banner would work in the middle. But we seem to have got away with it. These corn rows are still a little bit too saturated. So we can just bump the saturation down now to give it a more muted look. I'm not actually unhappy with that at all. We've got, I think, really nice evening look to it. I'm a bit relieved now that this has actually come together because I was very nervous at first. Yeah, I think we can do a bit more on the sky. Potentially taking down the brightness, but bumping up the saturation. Or even just taking the highlights up a little bit. There we go. We don't want too much saturation because we want it to blend. And now we've got room in the sky for our quote. So we've got a slightly different look there, but we've got a bit of creative license, surely. So we're going to copy and paste this text, or copy it all. See if I can find anything that will do the job. This is where if we look at some of the existing options here, some of the artwork created around it, we can see that we've got serif font. So that's what we'll do. We will use small caps serif font. So it's all capitals, but the first letters are larger. This might be a little bit too playful. I might go for something. Nope, don't like that. No, I think that will do. So what I'm doing now is just paste it in first. That's annoying. We've got the inverted commas the wrong way round, so we may have to put it in manually afterwards. Okay, so I'll take that one. I've got about a minute left, so I need to move now. Duplicate that. The font size down. We'll find some speech marks that will do the job for us. Align that to the left. Make it a bit bigger so we've got more impact. We'll then use line spacing just to make it a little bit more compact there. I'd love more time just to have a look at this textile. And we're just going to find some inverted commas that match. Okay, 10 seconds. I think we're just going to just about get there. There we go. If I zoom out now, spacing's way off. I'd probably make this one smaller, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and take an extra couple of minutes just to, or an extra few seconds, should I say, just to get this aligned. So we're looking at even spacing, top and left, and we can drop that, tuck that in there. There we go. So that's how we can use different photos in Canva. Also, that gradient effect there makes a huge difference. If we take it out, we can see just how much of an impact that makes on the overall look and feel of this design. And going back to the earlier ones, you can see when I was at panic stations early on, wondering how we were going to get it done. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. Tune in next week while we have another go at a fresh challenge. Cheers.